Alright, boys, it's the dev stream today. I'll be right back, hold on. Alright, we're gonna see what we're all getting in this update. We already know a couple vehicles are coming. We have the T90M, F14D, new Abrams, it looks like. But some people are saying it's just the M1A2 SEP V2 with the armor upgrade or the APS upgrade, which is kind of unfortunate. But you never know. This update might be good. Might be good. Now, people think we're going to get two F-14s, a premium F-14D and a late F-14D that will have the AIM-9Ms and the AIM-120s, but we're about to find out in 3 minutes. Got Trepkas in here. I had to reactivate it because there wasn't no sound. And it's showing that it's laggy, but I don't know if it is or not. It doesn't seem laggy to me. Now, they didn't show nothing off for China or Japan, so we are getting the Hummel, which I'm gonna be putting out a poll for what vehicles I should grind for when the update comes out. We're gonna have the T90M in there, obviously. Probably have the Hummel in it as well, so we can do a little stock grind on the Hummel. You feel me? And yeah. No German grind today, by the way. I gotta do a little bit of editing and try and get this video done this week. It's part 3 of the Type 90 grind. Let's go. Come on, man, hurry up and start. I'm so excited. Let's get on. It is a little laggy, so let me actually close this out really quick. Alright, here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Who we showing first, boys? Who we showing first? America first?
Well, hello there, and welcome.
Hello.
Another dev stream.
Another dev stream.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
Hello, Oxy.
Fantastic.
Hello, January.
Motivated, energetic. energetic.
It was a good try, I think.
Show the
Yes.
vehicle.
Anyway,
German coming through. Welcome.
Yes. Thank you for joining us today. We've got quite a bit of things to show you. This time we're going to go in reverse order, because usually it's kind of like front heavy. So we're going to kind of change up a little bit and go from right to left instead of left to right. We will be periodically reading the chat as we go through. We'll likely not have time to respond to stuff on the fly. We'll try and get through as quick as we can so we have time at the end to answer some questions. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a bit of a delay. So if you do want to ask some stuff, it's better to do that on Twitch. There's a higher chance we'll see it and respond to it in good time there. So, thank you very much for being here. Shall we start?
Yes. I think we do. And the first things first is me talking about some stuff for Israel.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Now,
It's very Jan heavy at the start.
50-50 chance here that I'm pressing the right button.
So
There we go. I think you should see my screen now. The first vehicle I can show you today is the Hunter AV. This looks quite futuristic.
It does. It looks a bit like a toy.
Yeah, I personally, you know what it reminds me a little bit of? It reminds me a little bit, I mean, they have nothing in common, but it reminds me of the PL01 thingy for Poland. This like super futuristic vehicle.
Yeah.
It's not in the game, but like it reminds me of. It's just like it has this like super futuristic look. Has a lot of composite screen on the sides. Not very well armored. It will stop 50 cals, but the main cool things about this is that it has a uncrewed turret over here, which means that at least when you poke out the turret itself,
I'm never gonna use this.
you will
play Israel like that.
not immediately get plopped. Or at least, you know, your crew will not immediately get plopped. You have spike alarm missiles. You have good thermals at 10.7, a Bushmaster 30mm, so this is the typical belt-fed main gun. Good mobility in general. Probably not going to survive, you know, main caliber rounds through the center here, but at least for you know, the vehicle itself, you have some protection. You have a fast-firing gun, moderately fast-firing. It's a Bushmaster, so it's not the fastest in the world, but you know, faster than every 6 seconds. 21-2000.
This is cool.
Which, well, it has a really good radar, but then it doesn't have radar missiles on the vehicle itself. Historically, this was running the Python 3s. So you have the option to see people, but by the time that you know, you've locked them, the only thing that you can really do is hope that they get close to you. And Python 3s, very good air-to-air missile, especially kind of in this like 12-0 bracket. It's not the only vehicle that has them in this bracket, but it's okay. Also has some CAS options, of course, and MiG-21s are probably not known as the most efficient CAS vehicle on planet Earth, but you know, it's always good to have some options. You have some paveways, you have dumb bombs over here, if you so desire to do. And of course, if you really wanted to use R60s, you can bring up to 6 of them. And a drop tank, so you know, good overall kind of spread of things. You have a R25-300 with you know, the typical thrust that you get on a MiG-21 that allows you to go really, really fast. Especially when you're, you know, higher altitude. I think MiG-21 are kind of renowned for that, especially in the brackets that they are playing. And before I like get hard stuck on this vehicle, I switch over to the Swedish editions that are coming into the game. First things that we have here is the Nomads. Now,
Pop the detail sheet back on.
yes, of course. Yeah, I don't know why it closed. Now, this thing kind of looks quirky. It has a launcher with 4 AIM-9X. So this is more of a show rod system in general. Not very big, so you can be quite small. It fits into the Swedish array of variety of ground SAM systems here between the LD and the NASAMs. And then the second vehicle on the Swedish tree that is being added is the AGS-37. Now we already have an AGS-37 in the game. This is a premium version. I just want to briefly mention it.
Well, considering it's 11.0, it's not gonna
basic
have
radar over here. You have the strong, you know, AGS engine, and you have a variety of options for you know, for ground support. Not the most outlandish vehicle, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's an option that wasn't really there for like a a premium. And there's quite a few of these this update where there's like gaps in premiums being filled by like unintrusive things that aren't like locking anything out of the tree. They're usually just slightly different versions of stuff we have. So as options,
show France. Let's see what the Frenchies are getting. We better have some good shit.
One additional vehicle that I want to mention like this on the French tree is the F-16AM.
Y'all are cooking
this is the Belgian version of the plane. It is sitting... Got it. We already have a F-16AM in the tech tree, so this is just a premium version as an option in the French tree.
Yeah, again, the intention is to have like an unintrusive premium that's not locking anything out.
Exactly. And, I will teaser one thing. That this is an F-16 that doesn't have them, but we will see some in the future that will have a certain new type of missile. But I will show it later. But before we do that, Tom has the next vehicle in line.
Yeah, it's now on to me for a little bit.
Yes. Switch over to you.
Yeah, we can start with this Belgian Leopard, the 1A5. It's a unique model, but functionally it's basically the same as the other versions. It's more, again, like a lineup vehicle, because something that France did kind of struggle with was the jump between the non-stabilized AMX, like the late versions, into the stabilized 32. And this adds a little bit of ballast to that lineup, because beforehand, if you wanted to play 9.3 or 9.7, you had two stabilized vehicles, like which were standard tanks. And the support that lineup had was quite bad, because you were fighting quite high BR with non-stabilized stuff. And so this adds another option. Basically, it's completely a lineup vehicle, with the intention of being one. And but there are quite a few things for France later in the year. Nothing else yet, but yeah. So I appreciate right now it's like there's a Leopard and like an F-16. It's not outwardly the most exciting additions. They're more kind of functional additions. But there is going to be some more stuff later in the year, which will be quite cool.
So we're getting a Leopard.
So yeah, the Belgian Leopard here is more of a lineup vehicle. We do have like a bit of artifacting when I move the camera around. Please forgive that. Also, while we're here, there's a new decal feature.
So they're going to be getting
as you know, I'm a fan. Just favorites. You can now.
Bro, what is up with this shit?
Favorite stuff if you want, and then it will appear here. It's a way to keep track of the things you like, or keep track of things you want to unlock.
Will that really help you? You just favorite all of them.
Of course, yes. Also, they're not ready to show yet, but there are a lot of new unlockable decals coming this update for Navy and Hungary, Italy, some other nations as well. We're getting their own decals. So the ones for Japan are kind of cool. They're the ship destroyer inscription, so I hope people like those. Anyway, that's enough of that. I will now show you Jean Bar, which is, I think I said that right. Sorry, France. This is the premium version of the battleship line. It's a bit different.
Why are your guys' shit
Not too different. It's basically a slightly more vulnerable version of Richelieu. It has 20% less crew. It's a post-war version, so obviously they didn't have quite as much stacking on that. The only other real tangible difference is that the reload is slightly faster. It's 2 shots per minute instead of 1.8, so it's 3 seconds faster, which is a small advantage, probably not enough of an advantage to justify losing 20% of the crew, which is a bit of a shame. Also, the actual placement of the crew, I would say, is kind of worse. They are all like stacked here, whereas on Richelieu they are a bit more spread out. So knocking this thing out via crew death is pretty easy. But of course, you can rack them pretty consistently. You have a good ship. Yeah, the anti-air defense is better. It is better, but the anti-air defense that Richelieu already had is already good enough for what you need most of the time. But it is still better. So you're kind of sacrificing survivability with slightly better offense. But it's not really super tangible. Anyway, it's a cool ship. There's also a few naval mechanics. Boiler rooms can now explode, which looks very cool. The effects are pretty nice. And also something which is hugely appreciated by me is if you have, like on this example, 2 turrets and you get your ammo rack for turret 1 popped, turret 2 will start to refill turret 1. so you're not permanently locked out of an entire turret. It will slowly refill, which is really nice, as it can be kind of tedious if you lost your first turret early in the game, and then you're just like pootling along with one turret having half your firepower. So it's a nice change, and hopefully people like that. Next, I will show you Italy. We're back on, something I like about this game is that you can go from like an F-18 to like this. And I like that. It's like, it's a fella. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just a fella.
Go back to the Jean Bart for a second. Yeah, so we go from, the evolution of boats to like
File's not an image.
like boat at home.
Not an image, bro.
This is they made this in the 1920s and decommissioned it in the 1920s. It was staggeringly useless, from what I understand. It's just like a little boat with a gun on the front. It's not going to change the world, but it's a cool little thing. It's like, it's a fella. There's a lot of fellas this update. I'll show you some more later.
Systems, smoke screen.
Yes.
No questions asked.
No questions asked. Anyway, next we have the Palmaria, which is a really cool vehicle. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time. This has been in the works for a while, and I've been waiting for it. When Italy got the the M109, and people wanted this thing, like I couldn't mention it because this was always coming. But yeah, it's really cool. So effectively, it's a slightly more mobile, slightly more effective M109. Protection-wise, you're going to get popped by basically anything. Internally, you do have a bit of negative space here. You can tank a few shots if you're lucky, but most of the time into the turret, you're going to get eaten.
I mean, this shit looks cool.
In terms of firepower, it's a little bit more forgiving. It has a higher velocity gun, and also this improved round. It's 15 kilograms rather than the usual 9, and the velocity is higher, so it's a bit easier to aim. It is a little bit slow to react in terms of firepower, though, so the turret traverse, this is on an ace crew, is still fairly slow, despite how quick the vehicle is relatively. So it's pretty good at repositioning, but if you have a target on your side, it's kind of hard to adjust to that quite quickly. But even so, it's really nice. It's easy to aim, does a lot of damage, still very fragile. You might struggle a little bit with reacting, but still, it's really nice. I'm looking forward to see this one for quite a while, so I hope people like it.
Yes. And switching back to me, something a little bit more modern, after your little excursion, especially to that boat. We have the M346FA, which is the Italian version of the, it is its own version, but it's co-developed with the Yak 130. So there are some similarities there. This one is way more advanced, at least to the version of the Yak 130 that we're getting into the game. You don't have an afterburner on this plane. You can't go Mach 1, but you have a lot of really advanced systems on the vehicle itself. You can bring a variety of CAS, guided missiles, and also the Derby, which, if I go into modifications over here, you have a large variety of options between AIM-9Ls. I think you can bring a loadout of 4 of them. You can bring drop tanks, JDAMs, you can bring Brimstones even, which the vehicle itself is capable of bringing in, but at the battle rating that it is going to be on the slower end, on the much slower end compared to everything else. Simply off of the fact that you don't even have an afterburner, so you're always going to be kind of, if you're playing an ARB at least, you're going to be crubbing around as like a vulture, trying to launch your derbies at something. Because if you try to like go into active engagements, you're probably going to be late. But also a very good option, very small and nimble, kind of for CAS.
It does look like a toy though.
Yeah, it kind of looks like, I mean, it's a jet trainer.
Yeah.
So there is a reason for why it isn't like kind of the, I guess, the real deal if you compare it to like the Eurofighter or something like that, right? But you have, for what the vehicle is, you have a lot of like ammunition and power output, basically. Also 120 flares,
so it's gonna be pretty scary.
that you can bring on the vehicle, and not the most modern radar system, but the radar itself is powerful enough in the battle rating that it's in it, I would say. So before switching too much about that, switching to the Chinese. So the first thing is a vehicle that kind of plugs the gap that the, yes, I don't know why it always closes, but
yeah, this was on the release for Chinese ground forces like 5 years ago, whenever it was. And
we got the PGZ-88, which is a radar-guided twin 37mm AA system with good mobility, and it is, as I said, right, it is plugging a gap that if you play in this kind of battle rating, you have the option to bring the WZ, which in itself, it has good shells, but it is not radar guided. So, you know, you need to know with this one. And this being radar guided means that all of a sudden you have an anti-air vehicle that can at least keep hit something because you don't have a radar system.
Yeah, it works on multiple levels. I think it's good for the 7-7 lineup, and also the WZ, as you said, proxy rounds is really good, but using that up to 9 can be a bit of a struggle. So if you want a radar, even just to detect stuff, it's a nice kind of alternative for that. So it works beyond its BR in the same way. So yeah, it's a nice addition. It's good to see it after all this time as well. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Then the second vehicle that we're having here is the F-16V, which is the Block 72 version. You can, if you hover over this here, see the vehicle description there. In the Viper configuration, quite a modern F-16 in general. I want to show you one armament type that is coming with this future patch as well. You can see it here. We are getting the option to bring anti-radiation missiles. Obviously, this is not the only vehicle that can bring them, but it's the first vehicle of the bunch of vehicles that are coming in the next patch, and of vehicles that are already in the game that will have the option. There's of course the AG-ATM M88 harm. Sorry, I can never say things in the proper way when my brain tries to like say two things.
It's okay. It's you're allowed on the dev stream.
You also have the anti-ship version introduction over here. Now this might not necessarily be the best thing to bring in a Ground RB game. Now,
well, there may be. We won't go into it on the stream, but there's ways you can use that in the future.
Naturally, of course, but the harm, I would say, is like the real deal. I will test fly a vehicle later on and talk a little bit more about it. I don't want to do it on this vehicle already, but I want to go a little bit on details about the AGM-88 harm and also about other anti-radiation missiles that are coming into the game. And before I get hard stock on that, second vehicle, this also gets anti-radiation missiles. The next evolution of the JH7, we already have the JH7 in the tech tree over here with the JH7A 12.3. This one has an additional pylon, so to say, as you can see here. You can bring additional air-to-air missiles, and you have a wider variety of ground weapons, including, of course, here the different variety of anti-radiation missiles. I picked a couple ones. Now, the main difference between these is, of course, this is a different version to this YJ91. There's 3 versions of this, the L113, and then the, I think, oddly nicely named L111 and L112. The main difference between these is that they have different targeting bands. So at least for these, you might target different targets. And you have to know in order for you to, not end up trying to launch on a SAM system, but you can't launch because the band at which you're, being able to track with the radar with the radiation missile is not the right one. Then, of course, you have the option to bring up to 6 PL5Es if you also want to bring a PL12. Of course, I can bring a lot of guided bombs and other stuff, a drop tank, a targeting bot, and a couple other stuff. And then I want to move on to Japan. I think the first thing, there is something that...
Wake up. Let me switch. Another fella has dropped. It's real fella time. Yeah, it's another boat with a gun on it. This looks like a fishing boat. Yeah, this is an American ship that was given to Japan after the war as a minesweeper, so it's like a wooden hull because of mines, basically. They used it for a bit and then sent it back. I think the US sunk it. It's like a target ship. Yeah, it's another unique addition for Japan. It's basically, again, like the previous fellow, just a boat with a gun on it. It's the American ones who've got quite a decent variety of ammunition, although the rack is massive. Phrasing. You also have some auxiliary anti-air, which usually at this battle rating is usually better than the main gun, because the volume of fire is a bit higher. But yeah, this is very slow, very weak. It probably won't be surviving very much, but it's cool. It's a nice little addition for Japan. not too much else to say about it, but I like it. I like these kinds of things.
I would target that as well.
I thought
Definitely. With an GM84.
Absolute
overkill, yeah. More expensive than the entire ship. Alright, you already see over here. We have the Leopard 2 RI, which is the Indonesian version of the this. If you look at the turret and the shape of it, might already be familiar to you. That is the turret of Leopard 2PL.
And it close out the sound. Hold up.
Leopard 2PL is that of an additional armor package in the front here. It's a
Don't know why I did that.
I think if I recall correctly, called a map. And you have this kind of like armored glass package on the side, which gives you.
I think that's the placeholder string.
Yeah,
for it. Yeah, it's a bit heavy, obviously, with this extra package on.
A new Leopard, that's
But yeah,
cool, I
so
guess.
it's nice. There are going to be more Indonesian tanks. This isn't the only one. There's going to be 2 more. Not this major update. They're not quite ready. We mentioned them in the CM post, but they will be coming, I assume, in the next update. I can't promise that. You never know what will happen, really, but there's more vehicles that are coming soon. They're quite cool. Yeah, this update is just going to be the RI, but there will be some more.
Has high-quality thermals, before I forget mentioning that one. And I mean, it's very wide if you compare it to the Leopard 2PL. That only has the kind of turret protection here of this.
So we're only getting 1.
And you have the L44 cannon, similar to Leopard 2A5 and Leopard 2PL.
But it's nice. It gives more weight to the top tier lineup because you have a vehicle that functions in a different way, and that's always good for variety and like gameplay expression and stuff. So it's nice.
And then the other vehicle that is coming is the high version of the Albatros, which is
Japan's getting
quite similar, at least for like what the plane is, right? It's the same fuselage as the Albatros that we already have in the game, but this has been rolling away from my text over here. Sorry, it's essentially the westernized version of the Albatros with Western weapon systems. You can bring Hydras, you can bring some dumb bombs with the typical American loadout here, and you have a slightly weaker engine compared to the Albatros that you get on the Russian tech tree.
It's really good
the same gish as a weapon, and you kind of have like a low medium rank CAS vehicle here
that's the main factor.
Yeah,
like Japan had nothing here like that was this versatile for 6-7 and that kind of bracket. Like you had the Kiko with like the little bomb or the 1 bomb. So
this adds a little bit of variety for that one. I think it's
I might get it. It's a cute little plane.
Sorry, it's Zunis. You know, small compartment of weapons that you can bring with that one. And before we get hard stuck on that, the next vehicle that you're already looking at, let me switch to you.
I have a lot of things for Britain to show you.
Yeah,
First of all is the Washington. This was requested as a suggestion, I think, over 10 years ago. I think like 13 years ago. This was like suggested on the forum. And finally, it's here. It's again more of like a utility edition in that it fills the massive gap between the Lincoln and the Canberra, so like 6.0 to 8.3. So really big gap is filled by this. And Britain has a lot of cool bombers. I'm sure in the future they can see some more. So this is not coming necessarily to gatekeep anything else. It's just an additional thing rather than a replacement for anything else. So I appreciate it's a B-29 with roundels on it. But it fills a gap, and it's not necessarily gating anything out, so it's cool. I like bombers, so I'm a fan. Also, you may notice the Churchill's here. Why could the Churchill be here?
Why?
It's time.
Why could it be here?
It's finally time. It's finally time to rise up, brothers and sisters. It's finally time.
Oh my God.
Our renaissance has begun. Yes, so
it's time, boys.
Britain will get APHE for these 75mm guns, which means the Excelsior, Churchill, Cromwell, anything of that caliber that could fire it. This is maybe my favorite edition of the update. This is kind of huge. I don't know if the BRs will change. I assume they probably will, either preemptively or very quickly after release, because the Excelsior at 4.0 with APHE, I don't know what to say about that. But yes, it's a really cool addition. I'm very, very happy to finally see it, and I think people will be excited about that. I certainly was. Anyway, we do have Abrams here. I'll look at them briefly. We'll cover them in a bit more detail. We'll get to the American ones. So this is effectively the squadron vehicle moved over from the, well, not moved over, the American version is still there. It's just in the British tree as well, to have all the Australian vehicles in one place, like how the Ram was put back into the UK tree. So squadron vehicle, bit of extra support. It's also present. What's also present is the M1A2C, effectively the SEP V3. This is the Australian version. This version gets the improved KW round, the A2. The American version gets its own improved round, which we'll look at a bit later. But yeah, it's overall improved. The turret armor is a bit thicker as well. Overall, apart from that, not too drastic a change. It has a better round, better turret armor, effectively. And we'll look at it in a bit more detail later. So a couple more things. We have some more vessels. Another little helpful premium to start off with into the apocalypse of British 2.3 coastal. So this is a bit different. It gets you out of that range, and the front gun on the front is pretty nice. Like this, the fire rate's really good. You can like 2-3 shot a lot of small boats with it. It'll be nice. We also have Egret, which
still getting dropped.
It's not too impressive. I think like 4.3 seems a bit maybe a bit too high. Like it's very slow. Not a lot of crew. It doesn't maneuver very well, but it does have the quickfire 102s, which is pretty nice. You can do a lot of. The volume of fire is high, but it's just quite weak. So maybe that's good. But my favorite addition is the Welkin. I like the Welkin very much. This was a colossal failure in real life for multiple reasons. But it's finally in the game. It's really nice to see it. I'll actually test flight very briefly. Yeah, in real life, this plane had such a narrow flight envelope, it could barely do anything. And historically, which I'll show you, the roll took 15 seconds because the wings are so long. This plane is nearly as long as 2 buses. The wingspan is 70 feet. It's really, really long. But the climb is really good. It's got a lot of authority at altitude. The nose authority I don't think is that great because the roll is so poor. But Welkin, I'm a big fan of this. But yeah.
I've seen Wellingtons that roll better.
Yes, bombers roll better than this. Yeah.
Just keep flying in a straight line, I guess.
Yes, it's
Don't turn it.
No. But yeah, climb's really good, maneuverability is... bombers roll better than this. Yeah.
Just keep flying in a straight line, I guess.
Yes, it's
Don't turn it.
No. But yeah, climb's really good, maneuverability is not that great, but you have a lot of authority. And it's a nice addition, like a unique World War II fighter is big thumbery uppies for me, so...
What happens when you like kick the rudder?
Well, it kind of...
Wow, look at that. Okay.
It doesn't enjoy that very much.
I usually use that to like get a little bit of better roll.
Yeah, if you're flying with keyboard, it can help a little bit, but with something
not a lot.
With something like this, not so much. But it's nice. It's going to be interesting to see how it performs as a kind of in between the Whirlwind and Hornet. So yeah, pretty cool, I think.
All right, I think we go back to something a little bit more modern.
Go for it.
And now we'll switch to my POV again.
Another MiG-29?
With the next kind of final evolution of the T90 line, I guess, if you can call it that. Now we already have a T90M in the game, but now we are getting a T90M with the APS system, the Arena M.
What is the MiG-29?
You can kind of see it here.
Oh, that's the
and in a couple other places. You have all around the vehicle protection with this, with between 2 and 5 directional charges, depending on the direction. Like, for whatever reason, there's 5 charges that way. Currently, it might be just a quirk of how you can put stuff on the vehicle. You have the same kind of engine power and ornament that you get on the regular T90M. You get this log, which is now log colored and not green.
Huge.
A very big thing, yeah, especially for lovers of logs, which, like, I mean, it kind of comes customary with every Russian vehicle, right? And the APS system kind of being the main selling point. We have another vehicle in another tree, an Abrams-sized vehicle, in fact, that also has an APS system that is coming. the trophy system. We will show you that in a little bit
There's another Abrams
when we get to the US tree, and it's kind of the counterpart of this one.
Oh, there it is, Yak 130.
Before I talk about that too much, we get to the Yak 130. Now we looked at the Italian one. This is the, well, Yak 130 that you get as a jet trainer in the Russian tree. Quite nimble and small. I agree, it kind of has this like cute look to it. Doesn't have an afterburner. It has a gish, and by comparison to the one that you get on the Italian tree, you have no radar and you have no guided missiles on this. So this, at most, is probably going to be something that you can use as kind of a nimble ground attack vehicle, in which, you know, you have like a small variety of things that you can bring, including the Cav 500KR.
It just looked like you took a regular plane and went.
Yeah,
it's cute.
Shrink it. I mean, we have a second one.
Yeah, this is a rev share plane.
I might buy that.
Made by a player.
This is the Yugoslavian J-22 M1A.
I don't see any air-to-air missiles with that either.
Is a also similar to like how the Yak 130 and the Italian M346 were like a co-development. This was a co-development with the Romanians from Yugoslavia. The Romanian vehicle is the IAR 93, and the Yugoslavian one is, end result over here is the J-22 M1A. You get a variety of ground attack weapons. On this, I think, for what the vehicle is, 9.0, the ability to, you know, bring long-range TV air-to-ground missiles like this. That's stronger by comparison to like what you can get in the Yak 130. And these kind of like perform in like the same power rating, so to say, when it comes to like, you know, top speed and capabilities of the vehicle. Because they are like also in a similar bracket right now.
It's just a fighter.
It's just around realistic here. So I'm not, you know, mentioning too much. This goes up in battle rating by comparison, though, because of course the weapons are stronger. But like at least for the engine output that you get on the vehicle, these are like have quite some similarities. And then the third vehicle that we're getting for the Russian tree is an actual Russian vehicle, the MiG-29K. Now, I've put a lot of anti-radiation missiles here because I want to talk a little bit more about them. On this vehicle, you get a, and I want to switch this to a realistic as well. You get a strong MiG-29K with a strong radar, not yet like the last evolution of radars. It's not. Sorry. Oh, you're scrolling up for me. You're scrolling on your stuff. Okay, I get it now. Sorry. Yeah, you're getting a mix of R77s. You get R73s on this that you can put on the autopilots, and then you get the full compartment of Russian anti-radiation missiles on this one. These are quite chunky and similar as to how it was on the Chinese, which had the Chinese named derivatives of these anti-radiation missiles. You have the different versions with the different band types that they are capable of, you know, being launched on. You also get the anti-ship version. Now these are extremely big, I would say, like in the grand scheme of things, especially bigger than the GM88 Harm. That is the one that I want to test fly. I think I will do that immediately before, you know, we go through everything and we just mention it right at the end. Now, I will spoiler it a little bit here, what we have on the US tree, but I really want to show you how the
M1A2C, so it's not a new
Harm missiles are you know, operating in general now.
Just a M1A2.
I have the ability to bring 4, or at least I've done it in this loadout.
They really
and there is some differences in the capabilities of the missiles. I would say that the AGM-88 is the strongest of the ones that we're getting this update, because they have inertial guidance. I've checked also around these missiles when, say, kind of the most logical thing. You notice that somebody's launching one on you, and you disable your radar. That missile is going to go for the last known location of where you were. So if you disable your radar and then you move 50 meters to the side and you don't reactivate it, the missile is going to slam down to like where you were before. But if you reactivate it in the time that it's flying, which it has a long range, right? Like you can launch these from 10 kilometers, but I would almost say that, you know, that's kind of minimal distance for these. I've tested around a little bit. Like you can hit these systems in the back there. Like the overall launch distance for these is 100 kilometers, and I would almost say that, you know, it might not be advisable. You're probably not going to be in a position to launch from that kind of distance, but you would almost be able to lock. As you can see here, it automatically locks the target, and then I can arm my missile and I can immediately launch. And then these go there.
Oh, good.
It
Finally
works.
saved.
And we also kill the Tor. Now these, of course, are not necessarily fighting me back, right? Because, well, they're AI targets here. So in a real situation, somebody noticing that you are being launched on probably will try to like not get killed by it by disabling its radar. But the kind of change in, I guess the paradigm change in this is that you can't infinitely keep the radar on, because there's always the looming threat of somebody with harm missiles or anti-radiation in general skulking around the map and well, doing this to you essentially.
Yes.
You might see the ammunition on your radar screen, of course, right? But
motherfucker. Go back and show the gameplay, bitch boy. What are you doing?
it will be kind of this like looming risk that you have from now on as a counterplay against.
Untold, bitch.
It will be kind of this like looming risk that you have from now on.
See, I don't play
as a counterplay against radar, making it slightly less oppressive.
I'll answer air top tier.
And I'm launching kind of like from kind of an intermediary distance, because you can launch from much further. I don't want to like fly for 5 minutes over here and like go to the other side of the map, but I could, right? I could also try to like give somebody no chance to counteract my missile or shoot down the ammunition by like kind of going in, launching from like kind of minimal direction. But I don't want to talk about all the tactics. We will probably end up with, you know...
Why is your guys' shit doing this? Hey, goddammit.
Probably end up with, you know, what the meta will be for launching these and how you will be able to incorporate it best into gameplay in general. But I would say a very strong addition to the game. Addition to the game, and
We're fighting destroyers. It's really good against destroyers, but it's very slow. So this new fella is a lot faster. As you can see, it's a bit more maneuverable as well. You have a bit more agency to move around and more torpedoes. Anti-air is not quite as strong. Defensively, it's identical. It's just a little bit different as a.
She fucking probably did it.
A new boat, which is pretty cool. I like it. Anyway, indeed, back to Germany. Germany is devouring.
Oh, here we go.
Things this time with the additions they've got. So we can start with the Bukhara, which has been this time with the additions they've got. So we can start with the Bukhara, which has been looming in the files for a very long time.
it is.
Funny, it was helped. The design was aided by Horton, which I imagine is why it's in the German tree, because it was designed by the German fella.
I might buy
So
the W189 though. That shit looks fucking sick.
Because it was designed by the German fella. So thematically, having it at 4.3 is a bit strange, I guess. It's not that great. It's not that fast. It really does struggle to maneuver. So this thing is going to be quite an easy target.
Yeah, every Spitfire is going to rail you.
That's what everything is going to.
Yeah,
the copper's really nice though. But yes, its agility overall is pretty bad. Like you've got.
Oh my god!
You can snap roll. You can snap roll, but in terms of actual maneuverability for fighting stuff, it's not that great.
But it's the opposite of the British tree that we're getting.
Yes,
right.
The antithesis of the Welkin, the foil of the Welkin. But yeah, it's in terms of actual flight performance, not that great, but it does.
God damn it, dude.
Does add a lot. But yeah, it's in terms of actual flight performance, not that great, but it does add a lot of versatile CAS to the mid ranks, which is quite cool. And yeah, I think it's the first Argentinian aircraft. We have the TAMs and everything, but in terms of aircraft, it's the first one. In terms of ships, we have Lorelei, which I think, from what I remember, is a ship Germany stole from Belgium. This is a Belgian frigate, and it's one of the starter ships of Germany. It's a nice, like, unique one. Very big, not that fast. The gun position is also not that great, but as a starter ship, it's nice, and it also has anti-air. I think something they're trying to do is add more starter ships that have better anti-air. So it's nice. It's a cool unique vessel, especially for this tree. I'm a fan. Next, we have Admiral Scheer, which is a premium Grafspee of the Deutschland class. It's a little bit white, fragile in that way, so I'd still probably go with the Eugen. It's well, when applicable, but still, nice addition. It wouldn't really fit, I guess, in the main tree. It's just the same thing, but a bit worse. So I think it works as one. Anyway, another weird fella. This is another RevShare plane. This is made by the usual suspects, same with the cockpit as well. This is the Focke-Wulf 189C, or the V6, I think. To put it into perspective, this plane lost to the HS-129, which is not setting it up for success. Although when it was tested, the test pilots liked this version more, but it was like 3-4 times more expensive to make, so they just went with the HS-129. It's pretty. I don't think its flight model is completely finished because it's very similar to the regular version currently, but it's pretty heavy. It's very sluggish, although it is incredibly well armored. It actually has a completely fully enclosed
for the tiniest cockpit on
look at this.
Planet Earth.
This is a cozy setup for these fellows here.
Me and my homie just like.
But yeah, this thing is, you can't really knock it out with rifle caliber guns if you're going for the pilot kill. It also has the twin mount as well. This twin mount, do not underestimate it. The fire rate is immense.
Yeah, those are very good on the Ju-87s as well.
Yeah, the later Ju-87s that have the dual mount, it's great. So this is a really nice platform. The firepower in terms of bomb armament is the same as the regular A version. They have the 4 bombs under the wings, and then 4 machine guns, and then your 2 15s here, which are better against ground forces. I also think the BR of this one is maybe a bit too high right now. I could see it being a bit lower just because it's quite sluggish. And the firepower against ground mostly comes from those guns with the tungsten or cement core round that it has. So light early vehicles you can shred with this thing, and against like light ground fire you can protect yourself, at least the pilot. So it's nice. It's a really cool little weird vehicle that's being added. But I think one of the highlights for me finally is the Hummel, which you might think won't add a lot at this stage of the game, but it actually kind of does. Also, this modification, the camo net, is a mod. You can take it off or on underneath it. It's the mesh. This is the late version of the Hummel. Germany is kind of stacked for high caliber gun tanks. This one has actually a lot of ammunition, which you may not expect. So you've got 2 types of HE, heat, SAP, and this round. What does TS stand for in this context? It's German Sabo. It means it's the abbreviation for Sabo in German. This basically is a
good question.
Yes, this is a 88mm shell inside the housing of a 150. So the Hummel actually gets like nuts APHE. And it was used, I think, during the later stages of the it's the same.
Spiegel.
Yes, that's it. Yes. So
took a second. Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing that the Maus has, where it's like an 88 encased in the 128. So Yeah, it's nice. It's really actually quite versatile. In terms of the Nashorn, it's a little bit lighter.
All right, now show
The hull traverse is very quick, which is really nice, as if you're trying to, well, with any turretless vehicle, you want to have good hull traverse to kind of swing yourself on target, so it is good for that. 3 degrees of gun depression is not so good, that's going to really limit you. But the velocity of the rounds is actually pretty okay. Like, the HE is obviously quite slow, but the APHE it's about the same as the Palmaria for comparison. So like the heat, yeah, you're not going to be using that really. But the APHE is really nice. So this thing is actually going to contribute quite a lot. And I think it's a really cool addition. It adds a lot over what's already there. And it's nice to see it. I'm always happy to see these kinds of new additions. And I think I will quickly, before you go on to the other stuff for the US, I will do the US boats that we have.
Yes.
I'll do them briefly. Firstly, we have Gridley. We like Gridley. It's similar to the Bagley and Helm. The difference mainly is that the firepower is a little bit worse. These are the early turrets at the front, so the fire rate is a bit lower, same as the ones on the back. Previously on Bagley and Helm, these are the advanced turrets at the front. They have a faster fire rate. Previously on Bagley and Helm, these are the advanced turrets at the front. They have a faster fire rate. These are a bit weaker. But it has almost 100 extra crew, so survivability is a lot better.
So they add
just a slower fire rate.
M1A2.
We also have the very pretty North Carolina, which is a slightly less chunky South Dakota, effectively. It's a little bit faster, I think a little bit more maneuverable as well. Firepower in terms of the direct offense is identical.
I'm heated. I'm hella pissed.
The same. Same guns, secondaries. The the anti-air is a little bit worse. Not universally, but overall it's slightly worse. And the armor is like just a smidge less effective as well, like across the board really. So with most of the armor parts, they're very slightly weaker than South Dakota.
Like, this is bullshit.
But still, it's a really nice ship. It's very, very pretty. I like the longer look to it than South Dakota. But yeah, it's really nice to see North Carolina as well. So
Let me guess.
I'm a big fan of that.
Don't even have
Now,
no
onto
rounds. Same old fucking M829A2 rounds.
one of the main events. Well, I guess it's kind of the main event. The new Abrams that we have, which you can very...
They had to add 2 more M1A2s before they could add a ZV3.
Well, and also the planes as well.
Well, let me switch over. Now, because you've mentioned them, let's immediately look at them. We have the M1A2 trophy.
Wow.
Which, as you can see here, one of the main immediate things that pops into your head when you see it is the, as I've kind of teased earlier, addition of a APS system on the Abrams over here. Now, additional to the APS, which has 3 charges, which are kind of covered.
We might be grinding the American tree again, boys.
Covering the left hemisphere of the vehicle and the right hemisphere of the vehicle, which also makes it quite wide, I would say.
It is, yeah,
especially the turret, you kind of have these like cheeks on the side. You have slightly improved turret armor.
Penetration better be at
and as Tom has briefly mentioned it just earlier, and this is that, at least on my account here for Dev, everything being work in progress, but you will be able to show that. And also the other non-APS version of the tank that, similar to the one with trophy, has the M829A3 round and also slightly improved turret armor.
If you want, you can show it on my screen.
I will switch to Tom, because on Tom's side...
Yeah, so they also have a camo net mod, which looks really cool. And actually, if you scale the condition, it completely changes, which is really cool. I like that.
And the M1A2C is the ZV3 version of the vehicle, which...
Yeah, so the difference mainly is the turret armor. It's got better turret armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks...
And a good look.
And a good look, yes. And the A3 round here, which is better against the RA. In terms of like raw penetration, they're kind of the same. It's a slightly better. But the main change there is against the array.
Yep. Then the next vehicle...
Both tech tree, yes.
Yes, both are tech tree. I can show you where they are in a tech tree. Surprisingly, at the end of the Abrams line, them being the most advanced Abramses that we're getting in the game. Now, the next vehicle is a plane, the F-101C. You only get guns on this. You have a radar, but you have no missiles. You have the quad 20mm M39A1 cannons. You can't split these, at least not on the Dev. This might change, as everything on the Dev is always subject to change, but at least right now you can't. With 800 rounds, so 200 per gun. The vehicle itself, I would say, for the battle rating that it's in, it's not a starfighter. You're not going to go Mach 1.5 everywhere, but you have good acceleration. You can go beyond Mach 1 at higher altitude, but you're just below Mach when you're going on the deck. You have an afterburner on this. You have two J57P13 engines, and I would say for 9.3, where it's kind of slotted in right now, it would be a good gun-only vehicle. But that is for its kind of respective battle rating. Let's look at one of the vehicles that I think a lot of people want to see, which is the F-14D. Now, this is the next evolution of the F-14B that we already have in the game. Some things about this. First, the engines have slightly more thrust compared to the F-14B version that we have. I think it comes off at about just below 10% more thrust compared to the B. And you have a AN APG-71 radar. The armament on the vehicle is essentially the same as you get on the current F-14B in the loadout for that. I made a preset over here to just kind of briefly show that. You have your AIM-54 C Phoenix missiles. You can bring up to 6 of these. On the vehicle, you can get your AIM-9Ls with the countermeasure pods and the fuel tanks. And you have a variety of air-to-ground stuff with the targeting pods if you so desired. Not necessarily something that you need to like combine, but you definitely have the ability to bring whatever you want, whether that be air or B or ground or B. Then one additional vehicle I just want to briefly mention is the M60A1 Predator. That is going to be available as a...
Yeah, there's also the premium Puma as well. And these are, again, like utility premiums. They're kind of meant to just be stuff you can get in the game regularly, slightly more visually interesting, but filling like gaps. I think this is now like for rank 6, like a premium to have there. And the Puma is a light tank premium as well. So they're just intended as kind of, unintrusive options, basically.
And I just want to briefly show the modifications on the F-14B before I forgot showing you that. Now, there's one vehicle that you saw in the German tree over here that I think we should briefly go and test drive.
Yes, so right now, if you want to ask some questions, I'll read the chat for the last remaining time we have.
And then